Hey everyone! Today we're diving into some curious facts about midsummer. You know, that magical time of year when the sun's shining its brightest, the days are long and the nights are short? We're talking bonfires, maypoles, and maybe even a few witches. Don't worry, we'll get to that later. So grab your flower crowns and let's get started. First things first, let's talk about the when. Midsummer is celebrated around the summer solstice, the longest day of the year in the northern hemisphere. It usually falls on June 20th or 21st, depending on the year. Now you might be thinking, Jimmy, isn't that just a regular old day but with more sunshine? And to that I say, kind of. But here's the thing. For centuries, people all over the world have been celebrating the solstice as a time of magic, mystery, and good old-fashioned fun. I mean, who doesn't love a good party when the sun's up past your bedtime? We're talking ancient rituals, bonfires that'll light up the night sky, and enough flower crowns to make your head spin. It's a time to celebrate the earth's bounty, the warmth of the sun, and the promise of long, lazy summer days. So buckle up, because we're about to take a wild ride through some of the most curious and fascinating midsummer traditions from around the globe. Let's kick things off in Sweden, where they really know how to party midsummer style. Picture this. A giant maypole decked out in flowers and ribbons, standing tall in the town square. People dressed in traditional folk costumes, holding hands and dancing around the pole, singing their hearts out. Now, I'm not talking about your average two-step here, folks. We're talking intricate footwork, synchronized moves, and enough twirling to make you dizzy just watching. It's like a scene straight out of a fairy tale, but with better music. But the Swedish maypole tradition isn't just about looking pretty and showing off your best dance moves. It's a symbol of fertility, good luck, and the coming together of the community. So if you ever find yourself in Sweden for midsummer, grab a partner, join the dance, and let loose. Just try not to trip over the maypole, okay? Next stop, Finland, the land of 1,000 lakes and apparently 1,000 bonfires. You see, in Finland, midsummer is all about fire. And I'm not just talking about the kind that keeps you warm at night. We're talking massive bonfires built on the shores of lakes and rivers, lighting up the night sky with their fiery glow. Now, I know what you're thinking, isn't playing with fire a bit dangerous? And to that I say, of course it is, but that's half the fun. Okay, maybe not. But seriously, these bonfires are a big deal in Finland. They're meant to ward off evil spirits, bring good luck, and celebrate the return of the sun after a long, dark winter. Some folks even believe that if you jump over the bonfire 3 times, you'll be granted good health and happiness for the year ahead. I'm not saying you should try it, but hey, if you're feeling adventurous. Now let's hop over to other parts of Europe where midsummer takes on a slightly different flavor. In many countries like Spain, Portugal, and Estonia, midsummer is celebrated as St. John's Day, a Christian holiday honoring the birth of John the Baptist. But here's the thing, even though it's a religious holiday, St. John's Day still retains many of the pagan traditions of midsummer. We're talking bonfires, feasts, dancing, and all-around revelry. It's like they took 2 holidays and mashed them together into one big, awesome celebration. And who doesn't love a good mashup, am I right? So whether you're celebrating St. John's Day or just plain old midsummer, one thing's for sure. It's a time to let loose, have some fun, and enjoy the company of friends and family. Okay, now it's time to get to the spooky stuff. Because let's be honest, no midsummer celebration is complete without a little bit of mystery and intrigue. In ancient times, people believed that Midsummer Night was a time when the veil between our world and the spirit world was at its thinnest. And guess who was said to roam free during this magical night? That's right, witches and evil spirits. Now, I'm not saying you should be scared, but if you see a group of cackling figures flying through the sky on broomsticks, maybe just keep your distance, okay? But hey, not all spirits are bad. In some cultures, Midsummer Night was also a time to connect with nature spirits, fairies, and other mystical creatures. So, if you're feeling brave, you could always try leaving out a little offering for the fairies at the bottom of your garden. Just don't be surprised if you wake up to find your garden gnome has gone missing. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these curious facts about midsummer, don't forget to like and subscribe for more interesting videos. And hey, if you're planning on celebrating midsummer this year, be sure to send me an invitation. I'll bring the hot dogs. See you next time.